Hey everyone, I know it's been a long time since I've made a new video. There just hasn't been anything new, nothing exciting, and I've had zero time or even motivation to really make a new video. But I'm here in Dallas, Texas at Bernina University 2023, and I have some really fun things to introduce to you. This video is mainly just going to be focusing on just kind of like a quick first look at the new Bernina 790 Pro sewing and embroidery machine. It is a fantastic machine. We're excited about it. Of course, if you know me, I'm always looking for something really exciting. We're still waiting for that awesome new top of the line machine, which we really won't see until next year, to be honest. But in this video, I was filming it while I was in the class, trying to learn new things about it. Some things we seen in the 880 that they brought to the 790, but of course there are plenty of really new items, which is going to make the 790 Pro machine a really awesome new line to the Bernina machine. And this is replacing the current Bernina 790 Plus machine. So bear with the video. I do apologize. This isn't my normal video recording style because I was just kind of in the class trying to take videos and focus on the new things and things I know people are going to be interested in. So I will go over the highlights, and so the videos will have just a voiceover, which I've never done before. So again, I apologize. I'm not 100% sure how that's going to turn out, but we'll find out. But let me go over the things that are new for the Bernina 790 Pro. So one of the first things is there are a number of new hardware features. So there's new software, but there's also some hardware features. So in one of the classes, we went over, they mentioned a number of things that have changed. And I do apologize, you know, I like to have all my details before I do make a video of what I'm working with. But we just don't have all those details. So some of the new features that are kind of behind the scenes that you may not even realize that's new or that's changed. The thread pre-tension mechanism is different, it's new. Something else that I noticed that they didn't even mention that is really new, and I should have that in the video, so I'll show it in a clip when we get to that the uptake lever is shorter and smaller. So I'm not sure if that allows for higher speed or what, but it's different. And the threading mechanism, of course, is completely different. The thread cutter they mentioned is more robust and more precise, which is nice because the current thread cutter, as it does work, we do have a number of customers that, I don't want to say abuse it, but if the thread gets jammed and they kind of yank on it too much, they can bend, they kind of mess things up in the thread cutter system. But a number of people don't have an issue with it. The hook and bobbin case has changed a little bit. It does appear that the bobbin case is identical to all the other 7, 4, and 5 series machines, but they did mention that some things have changed in there. But one of the biggest things that we see with the new 790 Pro is, of course, the automatic needle threader. If you're familiar with the Bernina 880 or 830 needle threader, it's not that needle threader. It's a much quicker, much more precise needle threader. You don't have to thread the machine any special way. You'll thread it just like any of our other Bernina sewing machines. And then when you get down to the bottom, you just loop it around the needle threader, cut it, and press the button on the machine, and poof, it will thread the machine nice and quick and easy, which is really nice. So if whenever you're sewing or something happens where the needle comes unthreaded, which it happens, all you gotta do is just bring the thread around the thread cutter, the threader mechanism, and press the thread cutting button just like on any other sewing machine, and it will thread the machine. It's really quick and really easy. You don't have to do anything special. The Bernina Pinpoint laser, of course, is the newest, biggest highlight of the machine. It's a great feature. I know many of us were hoping for a more advanced laser, one that kind of shined out towards you, which will allow you to do half square triangles. I know we've gotten that question a lot over the years. This is a pinpoint laser, so the laser shines directly down, but what's unique about it is whenever we move our needle position, it does move the laser with it. It's attached to that mechanism. So when we are doing decorative stitch, which you'll see, the needle will move with it, which is really neat. And of course, on the embroidery, it's super, super awesome because it shows you exactly what that needle is. So we've got a lot of new pinpoint placement features in the machine. There is, which I know almost nothing about, because they really haven't said much, but there is a Bernina app that will work with this machine since the machine is Wi-Fi. So we'll now be able to send designs directly from the Bernina version 9 software directly to the machine without needing that adapter. It'll just connect to the Wi-Fi as long as you're both, the computer and your machine are both on the same Wi-Fi network. It will send it directly to the machine, and you can send designs supposedly from the machine to your computer, which would be really nice. But so there's an app that you'll be able to control your embroidery. It's not super advanced. I haven't seen it at all. I've only seen clips. They haven't really said much about it, but we'll be able to see your design as embroidering. So if you're in another room, because I am notorious, when I start my embroidery, I leave. I got other things to do. But I can have my phone with me, and the machine will tell me when it broke a thread. It'll tell me when it's time for a thread change. You kind of keep up and see where that design is currently at in its process, which would be nice. It's not an app you have to buy. You just download from the App Store and you're good to go. Something else that's really, 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 really cool is so the machine can now read BQM files. So if you have Bernina Qmatic, you know exactly what a BQM file is. It's a Bernina Qmatic file. So now when we do quilting in the hoop, we can use all these different long arm quilting designs in that BQM format, and we can use them on the embroidery machine. But what's nice is you can scale them to any size. Make them as big as you want or as small as you want, and it'll keep that even stitch length. Because what's really nice is we can now, since they're BQM files, we can adjust the stitch length that we want for the files, which is really nice. So if you're used to any type of long arm computerized quilting, you know exactly what I'm talking about. I'll try and see if we can see that in some of the pictures and some of the videos, but it's a wonderful, wonderful feature. Because when we are working with embroidery files that are quilting, sometimes when we increase or decrease the size drastically, you see that stitch length kind of increase or get really tight. And this, with the BQM files, they will not do that. We do have 4 pinpoint placement points we can use instead of just the 2, and all 4 points work really quick and they're really intuitive. So if you're familiar with pinpoint placement, we can select 2 points on the design and we can line it up and make it as crooked as our fabric is, but we only have 2 points. And once you select that first point and go and select that second point and try and move the design, it moves really, really slow, even though you're turning that dial really quickly. Here, all 4 points move really quick. It's really, really nice. I definitely have videos on that. And what also comes with the pinpoint placement is we can morph a design, which you'll see in the video. So if you have a quilting design, a BQM file, and you're trying to fit a rectangle design in a diamond shape, you can select all 4 corners, move them in the corner of that diamond shape in your quilt, and it'll morph the design to fit in that diamond, which is super, super, super cool. But then it takes it a step further, which I have in the video, is it will then offset that design 1/8 of an inch, 1/4 of an inch, 1/2 an inch, so it won't stitch it as close to the edge as it normally would. We can just click it and it'll bring it down to a smaller size. There are a few other things that are really, really nice. Something we should have had a long time ago. So we're able to do multi-line, what they call it, multi-line lettering and alignment. So if you want to do just like a quilt label, so you can type in made by shift and it'll move down to the next line. You can type Cody and move down to the next line. You can do July 27th, 2018 or whatever, and hit check mark, pull it up on your screen, all 3 lines, which is really cool. And then you could do center justification, left or right justification, just like kind of like Microsoft Word or just like the embroidery software. It's very intuitive. But then it takes it a step further where you can change the spacing of the letters, which is not super new because we could always do that in word art, but we were only able to increase the spacing. Now we can decrease the spacing and we can actually decrease it so much where they'll actually overlap to give you kind of a different look, but allow us to bring the letters closer, which is super nice. And we can increase the horizontal spacing or decrease the horizontal spacing even down to a negative. Super, super cool. So something that has always blown my generation's mind is our keyboard. The keyboard on these machines and on a lot of machines, it's all like it's in alphabetical order. That's not how we've ever typed. So now it has the QWERTY keyboard, which is what you're used to on your computer. So you can easily find your letters and type what you want in a fraction of a second. You're not spending all your time looking for each letter in the alphabet, since it's in numerical order, in alphabetical order on your machine. With this new machine, it is in what they refer to as a QWERTY keyboard, which is what our normal keyboard, that's what they're called. Okay, so now that we saw a lot of the new features with the new Bernina 790 Pro, and after I was editing the video, I realized I left out a few things. So there were a few things I forgot to mention. One of them being, with all the new hardware components and software components, is the machine is quieter, and it's noticeably a little bit quieter. And also, I want to say, don't quote me on this, but I want to say they said it was like 30% quicker in both kind of like sewing, especially embroidery. And this is on top of the new SDT module. So it's the new Precision Stitch 2. This new hardware and things allow the machine to be much quicker, much more precise, and quieter. And this is something that they're really proud of over in Switzerland about this new development on their machine. And they do have it stamped on the front of their machine. It's really pretty. Speaking of the front of the machine, this is something that's new too. And I'm sure you saw it in the pictures. So the machine is no longer a shiny black. It's no longer piano black, as they used to call it. It's now kind of like a matte black. If you're familiar with the old Bernina 830, well, old like 2008, 2013, 830, that was kind of like that dull black. It's not that. It's a more modern, very sleek. Another thing that's new is, so they came out with a new foot. There's the new number 26L foot. So this 26L foot is very similar to our normal 26 foot that we use for embroidery, except the hole, the opening where the needle comes down. On the normal 26 foot, the hole was too small to allow the laser to point down through the opening of the foot. So they made this new foot, the 26L foot, so the hole, that teardrop hole, to be a little bit bigger to accommodate the laser shining down through it. But they also made it more robust, and it's noticeably more robust. It's also a little shorter. Because they were having issues with the foot being a little too long, and it was kind of rubbing against the fabric just ever so slightly, and it was messing up with the thread, I was told. So this new 26L foot is much more robust and has a bigger hole. So this foot will be available, they said, to buy, to add to the other machines. But the new machines, like the new 790 Pro machines, will come with this new 26L foot. This screen also, this is something that's changed. We heard about this about a month ago from tech, that the new screens are a little bit noticeably brighter, crisper, and the viewing angle increased by 30%. So you'll be able to look at the screen at a wider angle and still get a clear view of everything on the screen. That's one thing I noticed with some of the other brands is if you're not looking directly at the screen, you can't clearly see everything. So if you look at more of an angle, it's kind of blurred or just not as clear. With these newer screens, we can really see much clearer, wider at a wider angle. So that's something I did notice, that the screens look crisper. They're a lot crisper, a lot prettier. One last thing. I just wanted to give a shout out to everyone that came up to me during BU, all my little fans out there, or my big fans, I should say. Not little, you're my big fans. It was really sweet. I really enjoyed it. Thank you for taking the time and telling me how much you appreciate my videos. It means a lot. Thank you. All right, so like I said, this is just kind of like a first look at the new Bernina 790. We will have it in the store in a couple of weeks. to do more videos and for everybody to start playing on it. I know everybody's looking forward to the laser, the fact that it's quicker, and the automatic needle threader. Everybody hates the semi-automatic needle threader. I don't, but a lot of our customers aren't a fan of it. But it's a long time coming to have automatic needle threader. So hopefully you enjoyed the video. If you think, give it a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. And happy sewing!